This one. Ah, well, this is fine. On the grid, draw the image of the following transformation of shape A. Now, a translation by a vector, translation means the whole thing like this A, you translate. It means you move it to the left, to the right, up and down. That's translation. It's the sliding movement. Translation. Please, it's a part of transformation, like enlargement, rotation, or reflection. So it's the sliding movement of a shape. So to the left, to the right, up or down. Now when the vector is given to you, the top one is the x1, the bottom one is the y value. That means x direction and y direction. So x direction means to the left, to the right. So if it's a negative, the shape is going to the left. Okay? If the negative was here at where the y value is, then the shape will go up or down. So down if this is negative, up if it's positive. So for example, if let me take this point, right? And I count. X direction, the x direction, that's the horizontal direction. Because that's negative, I'm going 9 places to the left. But you must be very cognizant of your scale. Nah? Sometimes 2 blocks is 1 unit. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it's positive 4, so I must go 4 places up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is where this point now would be. So if I want to find the other one, this point here, alright, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 up there. I think the rest we can actually fill in. Alright, and that shape is going to. So the shape does not change its size, nothing. You understand? So then once you're there, you label it B. You follow? But of course, again, I'll show you this because I have done it also on the software. That's translation. That's 2 marks. Rotation, 90 degrees clockwise. The center is here. So this whole shape should rotate clockwise. So it should go 90 degrees in this direction. It's not that complicated. So now this long part comes up here. So maybe we change the color just to see. The long part will be now like this, is it not so? And the sharp end. Anyway, if that long part goes like that, the whole thing stands like that, right? So where will this part be? This part here is this part, am I right? This part is now this part. Ne? The part on this side is going to be 2 blocks there. Are you with me so far? Okay? And this little one distance is going to be here. I don't know if you can see it. It's like the whole shape is rotated 90 degrees, right? And that you're going to label it D. Is it not so? Okay. But, again, we'll show you how to do that. There's something else that is interesting. If you look at C, and I think that's the next question in your paper there. They are asking you about describe fully the single transformation. So I'm going to go, of course, I've done it on this side, but I'm just going to go back. So if you look at A onto C, A onto C, that is obviously an enlargement. You agree? For writing enlargement, you'll get 1 mark. Now you must say the scale factor. The scale factor, you take maybe a vertical distance and the corresponding vertical distance. Like this distance here corresponds with this distance here. Also, this distance over here corresponds with that distance over there. Similar like this one. But you don't want to take skew lines like that because then you must use Pythagoras. Because you are supposed to, what is that distance there? Like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks divided by 1, 2 blocks. So the scale factor is 3. This is scale factor. That's 1 mark for that. Then you will take in your ruler because you have to find the center of enlargement, which I gave in the next slide. And I'm going to go to the next slide, okay? It's better. The center of enlargement, so obviously the other stuff is there. The center of enlargement is here. And the reason you find, or the way you find, is draw a straight line connecting this point with this point. Then you draw the straight line. Okay? You must at least do 2 or 3. Connecting this point with this point. Can you see that? And even this point is now they're on the same thing, isn't that so? Alright? Once you join them, these 2 points, once you draw those lines, where the lines are meeting, that is the center of enlargement. You see that? And this is why you have then 3 enlargement 1 mark, scale factor 3, center enlargement 6,1. Transformation is like a grade 9 thing and comes over from grade 9 and so on. Question 17 is our last question. And it's an interesting question. Franz, you're still recording. So now you see that's why the other ones didn't want to come, because like, oh, this is a lot. Okay, nowadays question 16. Ne? This one is a bit tricky. And how many marks is this one? 4 marks. Yeah. Look, sequences. At this sequence, it was difficult for the candidate. They didn't get it. Alright. The second term, I'm going to make like this. Now I'm writing 6. The second term this is how this question was. Second term, the 6th term, and the 9th term of an AP, all right, are the first 3 terms of a GP. You know how we write APs? AP is A plus N minus 1 times D, where A is the first term and N is like the number, right? Like in this case, the second term is like, second term will be, because remember, we don't know what the first term is, so we will say A plus 2 minus 1 times D. So the second term is nothing but A plus D. Are you with me? The 6th term will be A plus 6 minus 1 times D. So the 6th term is nothing but A plus 5D. Then the 9th term is A plus 9 minus 1 times D. So the 9th term is A plus 8D. So these are the 6th, the 9th, and the second term of an AP. These terms are now the first 3 terms of a GP. So, term 1, so this was the AP. Now, the GP, term 1 is A plus D. Term 2 is A plus 5D. Term 3 is A plus 8D. That's the GP now. We're going to focus now on the ones on the red. We needed the ones on the blue to get to the answers for the red. Now, you know how to find common ratio. Common ratio, you either take the second term, divide by the first term, and it should equal to the third term over the second term. So I'm going to use that same logic here, and I'll say my R is going to be my second term, which is A plus 5D, over my first term, which is A plus D. It should equal to my third term, which is A plus 8D over A plus 5D. Are we together? Put brackets because you need to cross multiply. Now we cross multiply. So I'll have A plus 5D times A plus 5D equals A plus D. Oh, that D looks horrible. Okay, but don't forget to put them in brackets, times A plus 8D. Now I think we know how to multiply out binomials. So if I was to do this one, I will get to a square plus 10d, because it will be 5d plus 5d, plus 25d square equals to a square plus 8d plus, remember, I'm going to go like this, 8. So let me go back to maybe showing you step by step, right? Because there's an a and a d there that I have missed out in the middle. Okay? Just to not skip some steps. Ordinary level can be a little bit tricky. A times a squared. A times 5d is 5ad, alphabetically, né? 5d times that is again 5ad. 5 times that is going to be 25d squared. Okay, let's get to this one. A squared plus 8ad plus AD, the ones in the middle, plus 8d squared. Are we together? Now, let us clean this up. So it's a squared plus 10ad plus 25d squared equals to a squared plus 9ad plus 8d squared. Are you tired already? Because you can see where we're going with this. Now, if you have an equation, right, these a's will cancel, because if you bring the a's to this side, you'll be subtracting them anyway. Okay? You'll be subtracting them. Are you with me? Now, just remember what we're going to have left, because I'm going to the next slide now. Okay? The next slide, I will have 10ad plus 25d squared. Are you with me so far, or are you getting tired? Equals to 9ad plus 8d squared. So far, so good. We need to, everything equal to 0, right? Like terms, 25 d squared minus 8 d squared plus 10 ad minus 9 ad. Okay? 25 minus that is 17 d squared. Are we still together? Plus ad equals to 0. Are we together? Take out common factor. What is the common factor there? I will have 17d plus what? A equals to 0. D equals to 0 won't work, because my common difference cannot be 0. You understand? If I put 0 here, I'll just have an A. 0 here, I'll just have an A. 0 there, I'll just have an A. So the sequence is not really going to be geometric. Okay? So this one, invalid. So the one we consider, 17d plus A equals to 0. Then A equals to minus 17d. Are you tired already? So I hope you still remember our sequence. What is our first term of our GP? A plus D. What is our second term? What is our third term? Our R. Now let's put the value of everywhere we have an A, we can substitute it with this. Alright? So here my A is negative 17d plus D. Are you with me? Negative 17. I don't have to do all of them, but let's do all of them anyway. Negative 17d plus 5d. Are you with me? Last one. Negative 17d plus 8d. So everywhere where by a, I substituted that a with, that's an eraser. We are looking for a highlighter. So I take this value of a, I take it out. Can you see that? and then I replace it. Let's change the highlighter to blue. I replace it. It looks kind of weird with this, with that, with that. Is it fine? But that stuff can now, that's supposed to be a pen. This is nothing but minus 16. That's a 6, right? This is nothing but negative 17 minus 5 minus 12d. This is nothing but negative 17 plus 8. That is negative 9d. Can you see that? Okay. Now I can find my r. Look. R. Term 2. Term 1. Which is nothing but negative 12d over negative 16d. Okay? The d's cancel. You agree? And 12 divided by 16 is nothing but? It will be the same answer that you get if you take the third term and divide it by the second term. Therefore, R. It was hammering. This one. This one is not a joke. 4 marks. Extremely poorly answered because there was a lot to this question. Can you see that? And also look at the space that you have in your question paper. Right? And somehow you had to do so many things to get to 3/4. This one must be titled, sir. That question, Mugambambi, sir, that question, they managed to get to the A plus D, A plus 5D, A plus 8D. They were already scoring some marks there, if you check the memos. Okay, there are some notes here that I have included. Don't be afraid when you see some funny signs there. We are going to talk about frequency density. This is the last topic, is a histogram. Very important. All right. You can write page, here you can write page, that's book 2, 674, I think. Let me just make sure that I have the correct, I think that's a 4. And modal class, you can write page 675 in y equals plus c. The mid value stuff, this mid value stuff is going to be page 667 once you look through this. These are the notes, right? Modal class is the one with the highest frequency density. Frequency density is frequency divided by class width. I will show you on the tables the next thing. This formula, this one, this f D equals to F, that's supposed to be F over CW. People are normally confused which one comes on top. Just remember frequency density, now you must start with F on top. That F is frequency, the other one is class width. Not difficult for you to forget. Alright, let me go to what I mean. So you have got this table, right? In your okay. The formula for frequency density is that one there. The frequency that something happens divided by the class width. The class width you find by subtracting. Can you see? 5 minus 0. Ne? It's 5. You with me? 10 minus 5 is 5. 15 minus 10 is 5. 30 minus 15. So I've added these columns. So once you have this in the exam, you can add columns class width and frequency density. And you write those values either on this side or on that side. Do you understand? Because you will use them for something. So frequency density is calculated. Let's take the first one. And I want to know what is the frequency density. I'll take the frequency and I'll divide it by the class width. The frequency here is 3. The class width here was 5 from our answer there. Can you see that? Once you do that, you get 0.6. And that's how you continue to find those missing numbers. Are we together? So once you are having a frequency density or this type of table, you need to be able to find the frequency density. So bring yourselves in an extra column for frequency density and an extra column for class width. And another one, we call it the midpoint. The midpoint, that midpoint is beginning value or minus this one, the beginning value. You see where I say beginning value here? Plus end value divided by 2. So the beginning value, this is not 0 plus 5. What is 0 plus 5? I call it. 0 plus 5. What is half of 5? Here is where we get 2.5. Can you see that? It's important once we come into the mean, the estimate of the mean. 10 plus 5. Half of 15, 7.5. So you need to introduce yourself 1, 2, 3 types of tables or values just somewhere there because you need it. Now if I have all the frequency density, so the first question was you were supposed to complete the table. Now you can complete the table, right? The 0.8 here, the one under, you say the frequency density, the one under here is the frequency which was 16, and the class worth here was 20. And that answer is about 0.8. It goes on and on, I think. Yeah? Is it not so? No, it's 0.8. It's just 0.8. It's 4 over 5. So I hope you have completed the table of values. I've indicated them in red. Is it fine? Did you? Now, let's go to our next one. So I brought my table back. I just decided to leave out certain things. So they say complete the table for the frequency density is this stuff in red. Okay? The modal class is the one with the highest frequency density. Which one has the highest frequency density? I've indicated in my table. Between 10 and 15. Né? The one with the highest frequency density, because the frequency density there is 6.8. Can you see that? So that's why that note is important. What is a modal class? Once we get to those things, you ask yourself, what is a modal class? Okay? Right. Can we go to the next slide? So I brought my table back again. Now this one is the mean. Now, normally the mean you are calculating for values, if you know there are 20 kids in a class and you have the sum of all the tests, you can calculate the average. But here, because it's classes, and once we get to some of those things and explain them more in detail, or you can even check once you will see that I've done some more videos on the histogram. But the bottom line is, this is where the midpoint values come in. The formula is the mean. For you to calculate the mean, because they want the estimate of the mean, you have to take the sum of the frequencies multiplied by the midpoint. That is, you have got 5, the frequency, sorry, 3 times 2.5. So it's 3 times 2.5 plus, are you with me? Now you have to do everything. 9 times 7.5 plus, that's what this thing means, the sum. Ne? This thing, the sum. And so on and so on until you get to the last one, which is like 16 times what? Times 50. And all of this, you are supposed to divide by, what was the total here in this question? Is it 187? How many learners do we have here? 182. Commuters. 182. Okay? Bottom line, you should get an answer there. So I'll give you time to quickly calculate it the way I did and find me the answer, and I want to see whether your answer corresponds with my answer. And I want the answer to 3 significant figures. Don't use these dot, dot, dot things in the exam. You must write them all down. Okay? Are we still punching and hitting the calculator? What did you get? Numerator? What is your numerator? Still waiting. 4,000. It's not easy. Answer? 670 what over what? What is the answer? People are just quiet. I did blankets. If you want to know what you need to do, there is my paper with everything. Maybe you are missing, and write it down and say 3 times 2.5 plus 9 times 7.5 plus 34 times 12.5 plus 89 times 22.5 plus 31 times 35 plus 16 times 50. That answer you then divide by 182. Not easy. It was never easy. Are we getting it? No, no, don't tell me who didn't finish. Are you getting now the correct answer? What answer are you getting? You are having the calculator right in front of you. You are typing, yet you are getting wrong answers. From what? Garbage in, garbage out. Giggle. Nothing wrong with the calculator. It's not about the calculator. It's about the operator. It's not about the plane. It's about the pilot. You know this movie. You didn't watch this movie. You must watch Top Gun. Still, you are not getting the answer. Anyway, he gets 26 point what? I think you are fine. Now, when we are completing our table, that's D, it's the last question, right? You see, I brought my table back for frequency density. You need to complete. 2 bars have already been drawn for you. So between 0 and 5, it's a class width is going to be 5. It's all going to be from here to 5. That is 25. I'm going to write 25 here. And I'm going to try to write a 5 there. That's 35. That one is fine. That's 45. It's fine. Right. So between 0 to 5, what is the frequency? 0.6, right? 0.6, 246. It will be here. Do you agree with me? You see why the frequency density is so important? Between 5 and 10, it's 1.8. 1.2468. Are we getting it? That's like more or less 1.8. Between 10 and 15, so that is 6.8. 6.2468. Is it going to be the same one? 6 point, no, that one is drawn already. Between 15 and 30 is 5.9. So it's 5.2468. It's about them way there in the middle. So here where I was now doing 5.24689. I think I made it at the wrong place now. So let's just clean that up. Can you see how .9 will be 5.24689? It's about here. And the class width there is also 5, right? No, the class width is what? 15. From 15 to 30. So it goes all the way. It's all the way up to here. You agree? So it's the whole thing. The whole thing here. So you obviously shade it with your pencil, right? And then the last one, from 40 to 60, is 0.8. So 0.8 is going to be 2468. It's all the way just here under. Do we have it? So you need the frequency table in order for you to do that. All right? There I bring the table. So it's supposed to be, those are the things that were supposed to be added. The ones that I left out there are obviously already in, right? So shading, histogram, you don't know the basics, but you can see somehow you're getting it. So once we come to this is the end of the topic on statistics, and then also the end of this paper. Shading was tough. Shading is tough. Yes, I'm listening. Support the channel.
Please support the channel.
Go to
No, subscribe.
come and sit and tell the people, the world, the mic is here. Introduce, what is your name?
Hello, my name is Bimunena Hokambe, student at Kiaripa Private School, grade 11. Please subscribe to Mr. Max Kachwanga channel, and please watch his videos so you can learn more. No,
That's it.
or tell other people to subscribe and watch his videos also if they have problems with math.
Okay, now they need to put a face to the voice, okay? So this is what I'm going to do. We are still live, right? So this is what we're going to do. We are going to go and we are going to activate our camera, and don't be afraid now. It's interesting. You just find, I want to see if I can make that switch while it's on. I doubt it is possible. But anyway, next time I will video options. Next time I will definitely put a voice there. Okay, guys, thank you for being here.